Rain drummed steadily on the tin roof as Lena pressed her palms to her belly. The pain came in waves now. A hand knocked once, twice. It was her neighbor's voice that called through the storm.
The midwife is here.
Lena struggled to the door. On the steps stood Maksari, an older woman wrapped in a black shawl. Her presence had an unnatural calm to it. "I wasn't expecting anyone yet," Lena said, stepping back. "I come when the first child is near," the woman replied. Maksari moved with precision. She lit candles, boiled water, wiped Lena's face with a cloth that smelled faintly of vinegar. Her hands were cool and steady. "This baby will come soon, but not tonight," she said. Lena blinked. "How do you know?" Maksari didn't answer. Instead, she closed the windows and pulled a thick woven mat over the cracks in the door. "Keep the night out." That night, Lena couldn't sleep. Something creaked above her, maybe the wind. The next morning, she asked the neighbor about the midwife. "She's from across the river. People say she only comes when she chooses. My mother used her. Said she was strange, but skilled." Lena nodded, unconvinced. That night, she began locking her bedroom door. On the third day, Lena woke with a startle. Her curtains fluttered, though the windows were shut. A faint smell like old vinegar hung in the air. She opened the door to the hallway. Maksari was standing still at the edge of the room. "Did you sleep?" she asked, tone unchanged. "I thought I heard something." "Only wind. Rest. The child comes soon." Lena said nothing, but her skin crawled. Each time she blinked, she expected to see someone standing in the dark corner of her room. By the fourth day, Lena began to notice small things. Her vinegar jar was missing from the kitchen. A faint sticky residue remained. In the corner of the guest room, a jar she hadn't placed, filled with dark liquid. That night, she moved the jar outside. By morning, it was back, sitting precisely where it had been. She opened it just once. The smell made her gag, like rotted meat steeped in acid. She called her cousin Nita, who worked in the clinic, and asked her to check on her. Nita arrived at dusk and greeted Maksari politely, but after a few moments alone, she whispered, "You shouldn't be alone with her." "Why? She doesn't blink." Lena almost laughed. "That's not a reason. Her hands are cold as the dead. My mother told me stories, old stories, about women who don't sleep at night, who fly." That evening, Nita slept on the floor beside Lena's bed. Just after midnight, Lena awoke to wet slapping sounds from down the hall. She froze. Nita stirred beside her, but didn't wake. The sound stopped. Then came a low creak, slow like weight shifting on old wood. Lena reached for her phone. No signal. She crept from the bed, opening her door just a crack. Down the hallway, the candlelight glowed faintly under the guest room door. Shadows moved strangely, as if something was floating. Watching, waiting. The next morning, Nita was gone. Maksari said she left before dawn. "No," Lena insisted. "She would have woken me." "She said not to disturb you." Lena searched the yard. No footprints. Just a dark smear on the floor near the door. Vinegar. She stared at the stain for a long time, dread pressing down on her chest. It hadn't just spilled. It had spread, slowly, deliberately, long enough to notice that it had pooled in the shape of a hand. That afternoon, Lena pretended to nap. She waited until Maksari left to fetch water from the stream, then moved quickly through the guest room. Inside, the jar again. But this time, others too. 4 arranged in a neat row beneath the bed. All sealed tight, glistening in the dim light like something ritualistic. Her hands trembled as she uncorked one. The smell hit her instantly. Vinegar, rot, iron. thick enough to make her gag. And floating inside, something fleshy, a shriveled, twisted organ, pale and veined. She stumbled back. A loose floorboard near the far wall caught her eye. She pried it open and found a wrapped bundle beneath. Rotting gauze, stained cloth, and a thick book. Inside were handwritten entries, names, births, deaths. The last entry, Lena, one unborn, strong. She didn't sleep that night. Just after 2 a.m, the candles went out on their own. From the hallway came the sound of something sliding across the floor. Wet, heavy, then dripping. She pushed the dresser in front of her door and backed away. A thud. Then silence. At dawn, she waited until she saw Maksari leave. Then she ran to the old village temple. The monk there was ancient, but he listened carefully as Lena spoke. When she mentioned vinegar, his expression darkened.
"There are still some left. She is one,"
he said quietly. "What is she?"
"She was once a woman. Long ago, she bathed in vinegar to preserve her organs when she left her body."
Lena went pale. "She leaves her body?"
"At night. Her head and entrails fly free. She seeks the blood of the unborn."
"She's been in my house for 5 days." The monk nodded grimly.
"Then you must act tonight. She weakens you, makes you ripe for feeding. If you wait until labor, it will be too late."
He pressed a bundle into Lena's hands.
"Glass shards, sacred thorns, salt. Place them around your home. She cannot pass them without pain."
He paused.
"There is one more way to stop her. If you find her body while she is away, turn it upside down. She will not be able to reattach."
That night, Lena prepared silently. Glass beneath the windows. Thorns by the doors. A circle of salt around her bed. She didn't speak when Maksari returned. Just watched her carefully. Maksari sat in the corner and hummed. "You look tired." "I'll rest soon," Lena replied. At midnight, Lena heard the click of the guest room door, then silence. Then a grotesque slithering sound, as though something wet was being pulled through a narrow space. Then a faint flap of something rising. She forced herself to stay still. The roof creaked. Then something brushed the window. Lena froze. A second later, a scream tore through the night. From above, she heard Maksari's voice howling. Lena bolted. Down the hall into the guest room. The air inside was heavy, sour with vinegar. The room was still. Only the black shawl lay folded beside the mat. And the body. It was there on the floor. Pale, slack, headless. Lena didn't hesitate. She grabbed it by the shoulders and heaved it upside down, heart pounding so loud she could barely hear the creak of the roof above her. Then the ceiling exploded. Glass and wood raining down as the creature crashed through. Its entrails writhing like wet ropes. Its floating head jerked toward Lena, eyes wide with fury.
"Silly girl,"
it hissed.
"you are nothing. I have drained thousands in their sleep."
Lena stepped back, one hand reaching blindly behind her for the pouch of salt. The creature surged forward, stretching toward her belly. She hurled a fistful of salt straight into its path. The creature shrieked, twisting midair. Smoke curled from its organs as the salt sizzled through them. It darted left, then right, panicking, but the body on the floor remained inverted, useless and unreachable. It turned its head toward Lena again, lips curled back in rage.
"You'll never be safe."
Then, with a final gurgling cry, it launched itself upward into the night, crashing through the hole in the roof and vanishing beyond the treetops. Maksari was gone. A week later, Lena gave birth, alone and safely, a girl. But the midwife's book remained. The final page now read, Lena, one born, escaped. And beneath it, written freshly in red, but I do not forget.